Okay, the next assignment that you're going to be doing, one of your first assignments, is we're going to be working in Microsoft Paint and WordPad. This will give you an exposure to a little bit of the kind of basic programs that come with a lot of your computers, especially if you're using PCs. So I want you to construct a postcard, and you'll notice as we go through this PowerPoint, some of the stuff that I'm looking for. I'll also put the PowerPoint on the website so that you can go back and look to see what the requirements are. There are three parts to this assignment. One, is a picture that you're going to be drawing in Paint. Now, Paint's just a basic program. It's kind of like drawing with a bar of soap. There's not a lot of real refinement, so I'm not looking for any Picassos. A lot of you have had exposure to Paint probably in high school and elementary school and junior high, so you're probably pretty familiar with it. If you're not, we'll go through it real quick. But here's what I'm looking for. I want you to draw a postcard of a vacation. Could be anywhere. Make it as pretty as you want or as droll as you want. It's pretty much up to you. But it needs to have the following things. It needs to have a seagull, a boat, the clouds, some clouds, ocean, the beach, obviously, a palm tree, you, and the sun. So it needs to have all of these elements. I want you to save it as your last name, not my last name, and not the words your last name. Now you might be laughing at this, but I guarantee I'm going to get a couple of students who save this file as your last name. I want it to be your last name, not mine, not the words your last name, your last name. If your last name is Smith, put Smith here. If your last name is Garcia, put Garcia there. Underscore CSS43 underscore postcard. All right, and that's going to go into your week 1 folder. The second part of the assignment is going to be a short letter to me. You're going to do this in WordPad, okay? And I'm going to show you where to find WordPad in case you don't know. We could do this in Notepad, but Notepad doesn't have any bells and whistles, and it's really not going to let you put the picture in there. The picture comes up as a bunch of gibberish, and so we're not even going to mess with that. But you should know that Notepad can be used as an HTML editor because it has no extra cursors. It doesn't have anything extra in it. It is the bare bones. It's like driving a Yugo. You want air conditioning, you roll the windows down. It's a 3-cylinder car with no bells and whistles, and that's Notepad. WordPad allows you to do a few more things, and one of those things is that we get to insert some graphics, and it's got a few more bells and whistles. It's nowhere near as nice as Microsoft Office or Open Office, but it gets the job done. So if you're in a clinch, you can obviously use WordPad. The two nice things about using Notepad excuse me, and WordPad is that Notepad saves its files in TXT format, which can be read by any word processing program. WordPad can save RTF files, which is rich text format, which means it's got the ability to change fonts, to make them bold, italics, bullets, insert graphics, things like that. But it also reads TXT format, so it can also save as a TXT format. So that's why we're going to use WordPad, because we have a few more bells and whistles that we get to use. In WordPad, I want you to tell me a little bit about your vacation. Where are you? What are you doing? And are you having a good time? Don't make it real long. One paragraph, 5 or 6 lines is good. Then go ahead and save that as an RTF file in your folder as your last name underscore CSS43 postcard. Now you might be saying to yourself, hey, wait a minute, I can't save 2 files with the same name. Actually, you can in this instance because they're different formats. One's going to be a BMP format, one is going to be an RTF format. So we can have the same names of files as long as their file formats are different. And then secondly, you should know that I will be checking for spelling and grammar, so make sure you're aware of any mistakes or any grammar. We'll talk more about this when we're in road and road. I rode the horse and we were on the road for a long time. Sound the same but are spelled differently. What do we call those? Exactly. Okay, and then finally, the third part of this, we're going to combine both of those together. And I'm going to show you how to do that in a minute. But you should insert your postcard bitmap file into your Word document. This is going to create a whole new file for you. It's going to give you the text and the picture all on the same page. So now you have another file. And I want you to name this your last name, CSS43 postcard final. Okay? And that will be a .rtf format. So now you're going to have 3 files in your week 1 folder, and they are your last name, CSS43 underscore postcard bitmap, postcard RTF, postcard final RTF. And I've given you an explanation of all 3 of these files. So when you send me your homework, you have to make sure that all 3 of these right here are in there. Okay? Now let's look real quick at Paint. This is Paint. Nothing to it. You'll notice we've got some freeform select, some selection. This is a square if I want to select a square, a polygon, ellipse, or rounded rectangle. This is an eraser. This is fill with color. One of the things that you want to remember is if we're going to try and use the fill with color, we have to make sure that that object is sealed. What do I mean by that? If I draw a pencil here, and I draw, and I don't quite close it, and I say, oh, I want to fill that with color. I'm going to come down here and try and fill it with color. That's not going to work. Control Z is undo. I need to make sure that this is sealed, that these edges here are together. Okay, I can't have an opening like I have here to use this. So now when I click on it and I fill it, it fills the sealed box, which is great. Control Z, this is our friend. I want to go back to normal size. So when I come in, the other thing that you want to know is when you lay color in Paint, you lay it on top of each other. So if I'm going to come in here, and let's just say the quickest way to make quick work of some of this is I'm going to actually come in here and put a color box. Let's pick a brown. And I'm just going to lay down, let's say this is the beach. It's kind of a orangish beach. We could pick brown, but for our purposes right here, I just want to leave that down. I want to put in the sky. So another quick way to do that is I'm just going to grab some blue, and notice that right here in the corner I changed my color. I'm going to stay with this box, and I'm just going to come over here, grab this, and I'm going to put blue up here. Okay, I've got a little bit of an edge here. Quite frankly, I don't care. Now I want to come in and I need to put in the ocean. I could go in and put another flat box in there if I wanted to, or I could come in here and make some color, use some ovals, but I'll show you one way we can do this real quick. Okay, so I can come in here and, like I said, I can put a big blue blob in there if I wanted to. I can use the airbrush, I can use the paint, I can come in here and paint with the brush. Notice I can get some big color here, and if I wanted to come in here I could grab this blue and just kind of start going around. But some of the easier ways to do this is I'm going to grab this oval, and I want it to be like this, and I'm just going to kind of come in here and I'm just going to overlap some of my stuff here. Now I'm going to come in with this square, and I'm just going to come up to here, and I'm going to put my blue down like that. Voila. Notice that I put my brown down beach first, then I put my blue, and then I put my ocean on top of that. We have to think of in these terms, because if I put the palm tree down and then I start to draw everything else, it's going to cover up the palm tree. So we kind of want to work with whatever's going to be on the bottom first. Now if I want to show some waves, I can come in here and get the spray box, get some blue in here and say, oh, maybe I just want to have some white caps. Doesn't really matter. Or I can come up here with the white and, you know, make some fluffy clouds. Okay, So what I want you to do is have a little fun with this. Remember, we have to put all of this together. I'm going to go ahead and file, save as, okay, and I'm going to go to my desktop where my assignment is. Okay, here's week 1, and remember, I'm going to make this Svensson underscore CSS 43 underscore postcard. I'm going to save it in my assignment 1 folder, and I'm in week 1, so I'm not worried about assignment 1 yet. Hit save. And notice it says .bmp right here. We want it to be BMP. We could try and save it as a GIF or some other file format, but we really just want that. So we hit save. Notice up here in my title window now, it's changed to postcard, so that's good. Now I'm going to come over to my Word document. Now here's WordPad, and it even says WordPad up here. The first thing you can do is go to File, Save As. And I want you to go to your little folder and week 1, and we're going to save it. And again, your last name, not mine. CSS 43 underscore postcard. Because remember, this is just the text document itself. We're going to hit save, and notice it's RTF. If I select here, I get Unicode. I don't want that. And I get a TXT document, but I just want RTF. I hit save. Now I can say, hey, having a great time, whoops, in Cancun. Tell me a little bit about what's going on. Make it short, make it sweet, watch your punctuation, your capitalizations. This is college, so it is important. I hit Control S, which is save. Okay, and we'll talk about these keyboard shortcuts. And now I can go to Insert, okay, Object. And it's going to ask me what kind of insert object I want to create. I want to create from File. I don't want it to be, look at it's asking me where, Desktop Svensson, Summer, Week 1. I'm going to say, why, yes, that's where I want it to be. Okay. I have my rich text format document here, but I need to find my bitmap. And one of the things, is it in here? Look, we put it in the wrong place. So we're going to have to take that out of there. So I'm going to hit Control X, which is cut. I'm going to move one file up, and I'm going to drop it here. So I'm going to paste it right there. I should have saved it in the week 1 folder. In fact, I'm going to get rid of this assignment 1 folder because it's just going to confuse me later. So inside, oh, it's being used by a program. Fine, we'll get rid of it in a minute. So here's my bitmap, and you can see it's got a little paintbrush. And this says Word because Word's my default word processing program, but normally it would have a little document GUI that looks like this one up here, this little pad with an A in it. I'm going to grab that though, hit Open, and hit OK. So now I gotta move this because this isn't going to work for me. And the insertion point normally is at the last place your cursor was. So when you're in here, hit Enter a couple times before you go to Insert, and then it will insert it there. And you'll notice that here's my little picture, here's my text. Now I need to do one more thing, and that's change the file format. I'm going to say Save As, and we know that this is going to stay underscore final. So we have Svensson underscore CSS 43 underscore postcard underscore final. I hit save. It's still RTF. So now I have final. So I should have, if I go to look in my 3 documents, okay, so I'm going to go to Insert, Object. I'm going to go Create from File, because we already know it's there. And look, it's telling me, oh, let's look. Is that, oh, yep. I'm going to browse, and notice that I have the postcard bitmap right there. Okay, you'll notice that it's this little postcard right here, that this little image has a paintbrush and a piece of paper. That's what we're going for. I kind of skipped a step and had saved this from an earlier tutorial, but I'm going to show you this one right now. I hit open. Now, one of the things that we have to know is that because of where our cursor is, that's where it's going to stick the image. So I hit OK. Oh, look, and because I hit enter a couple of times, it dropped it down and saved it below. So you want to make sure that when you're here, you hit enter a couple times and then go to insert. Otherwise, your text is going to end up all goofy. Okay, so here's my image. Here's my postcard. Now I need to go to File, Save As, and make sure that I save this as Svensson underscore CSS 43 underscore postcard underscore final. So now I want this postcard, which is the postcard and no graphic, and the final, which is the merging of the bitmap and the postcard, okay, of the actual RTF document, which is this right here. I hit save, and in this case I know I want to replace it. It's no big deal. Whenever you get a pop-up window like that, make sure you read the whole thing, because you might accidentally delete the wrong copy, and trust me, you just don't want to see that happen if you don't have to. Okay, so this is our WordPad. We have created the document, postcard final, and that's the end of that assignment. So when we start to look now, what should be in week 1, we don't need that. Let's see if we can get rid of that. What we have now, notice this is a paintbrush. Oh, it's being used by that, so I got to get rid of it first. Notice this has got a paintbrush and a piece of paper, and if I hold my cursor over it, it even tells me it's a bitmap image. This one tells me that it's a rich text format, okay, RTF. Remember, any word processing program can open that document. And then this one is the combine that has both the Word document, the postcard that we created, and the image together. So what you've done is you've created the postcard, you've created your little postcard text, and then you've combined the two. So that's your first assignment. Make sure it's in week 1, and then I want you to right mouse click, go to new, folder, and I want you to type your last name underscore CSS 43 underscore postcard, and now we're going to put all of this in the postcard. Since this is in our folder, we don't have to worry about doing any housekeeping because we want to keep working inside our summer assignment folder. That way we stay organized, we keep everything together, and it looks good. I want you to grab this and drag it down, left mouse key, hold it and drag it into the folder, and notice it moves it, didn't make a copy. It will do the same thing here. We'll grab it, and then we'll take the last one and put it in the postcard. So now if I open this up, I've got all 3 files in there. So here it is. Here's my Svensson 43 summer. Inside that folder, I'm working on Svensson week 1, and in week 1 I have a postcard folder. Okay, so I hope that's not too confusing, because I'm really going to be looking to see how you do your file management and your hierarchy. Our next assignment is going to cover that, so don't be worried. We'll make sure everything gets squared away. If you have any questions, give me a call, email me, see me online, or make arrangements to come see me during some office hours.